We going viral. We going viral. That 2 a.m. sandwich has got y'all mad. Cue the music. All right, you know what to do, man. Hit the like and subscribe button, man. Make sure you check out the content. We have to talk about this because I did a video that has now gone viral. This video, boom. Look at it. I want you to read it, okay? It says, a woman who won't get up at 2 a.m. to make him a sandwich shouldn't expect him to get up at 2 a.m. to stop a burglar. Now, people went ham. They went crazy. They in the comments trying to slaughter a brother. And they're all the same type of women. And I need you to understand why this post was so powerful, because most people focus on the sandwich and the burglar. That's what they do. And the post is designed to make you do that, because the post is going to make you look at yourself and see you as a problem or as a solution. The post is designed to make you see yourself as a problem or a solution, right? Because we designed it that way. Okay. And most of the women were coming in the comment, oh, I'm not getting up for my man. This is what he said. They did this snap like this.
I'm not getting up for my man at no 2 a.m. to make no sandwich. What's wrong with his hands? His hands are not broke. He can make his own sandwich.
That's what they were saying. I even heard women go into the comments and say, I would get up, I got a pew-pew, I'll go fight the burglar, I'll throw a bomb and an arrow, and I'll blow up the earth. I'll do it, I'll do that. But they still didn't make the sandwich. In other words, you're willing to do any and everything in the world. You'll go fight the burglar, you go fight the crime, you put on a Batman suit and Batman hat, you'll do all of that, but you still won't get up at 2 a.m. to make the sandwich because it speaks to you. The problem is that, again, this post makes you see yourself. And that's scary for people, because when you see yourself, you see the errors in yourself. Watch this. A woman who won't get up at 2 a.m. to make her husband a sandwich, but expects him to get up at 2 a.m. to go fight a burglar, there's an imbalance there. It's not about the sandwich and the burger per se. It's about, hey, how much am I willing to sacrifice for the person I love? I think I'm preaching right now. How much are you willing to sacrifice for the person that you claim to love? You claim to love me, yet won't make me a sandwich at 2 a.m. Take the 3 minutes to make me a sandwich at 2 a.m. You claim to love me, but would you get up and fight a burglar for me? Love is about sacrifices, is it not? You can think about it. Love is about sacrifices. That's what love does. It sacrifices things. Now, women in this modern age will sacrifice things for sure. Women will sacrifice things. Here's the problem. They struggle to sacrifice things for their husbands.
What do you mean by that?
Wait. Let me drink a little bit so you can think about that. Women will sacrifice things. This modern woman will sacrifice things a lot. Yes, they will. But not for their husbands. What is that? Is that tea? Yeah. So what I mean is, I'll give you another scenario to help you out so we can drive this point home for you. If the president of the United States was to come to your house and wanted a sandwich at 2 a.m., you'd make the freaking sandwich. Whether that's, let's say you can pick a president, whoever it is, President Trump or President Biden, President Kamala. She'd probably be laughing while you make a sandwich.
Emotional, damn it.
Whatever. Pick any president, whichever one you like, so that there's no differences. But at 2 a.m., you would get up and you would make the sandwich. Yes, you would. If it was the CEO of the company that you work for, hey, my flight got delayed. I'm getting here super late. I need to stay there with you and your family if I could. Can you make me a sandwich? Guess what you do? She would make that sandwich. If your friend, your best friend, is staying the night at the house, best friend's like texting you from the other room. She says, you know what, girl? I can't go to sleep. Miss Bell, I can't go to sleep. Can you make me a sandwich? I don't want to be getting up, going around this house. This ain't my house. You would get up, make her a sandwich. The only person that you would have a problem with making that sandwich for is your husband.
How? Hold on, bro. How?
And that has been the case since the beginning, because you remember the fall in the garden and all. Man, I'm telling you, it's strategic. in the beginning, you have the fall, and God says your desire shall be to your husband, because you want to rule over him. You don't want to rule over your friends. You don't mind ruling over, you don't want to rule over the CEO. You don't want to rule over freaking president of the United States. Who you want to rule over is your husband. The sandwich makes that possible for you. So you are saying this sandwich is, I can't. I'm not getting up at 2. I have to go to work. I got to go to work, so I'm not getting up at 2 a.m. to make no sandwich for you. I'll make it for somebody else. That's what you're saying. Now, that same woman, that same mindset wants the husband to be a provider, to be a protector, to be provision, wants the husband to be all of those things all the time. We're walking out and down the street. I want you to protect me. No matter if the bills are coming, I want you to provide for me anytime, even at 2 a.m. Burglar, 2 a.m. I expect you to do these things. But when it comes to me making you a sandwich, at 2 a.m., no. At 10 a.m., maybe, possibly, somewhat, some kind. I don't know. But at 2 a.m., when I'm tired, I'm not making a sandwich. Imagine if this man said that at, in June, I'm not paying all the rent. I'm not paying the bills. I'm not protecting you. In July, it's hot outside. I'm not protecting you in July. That's all right. I turn that off for July. Imagine that. It puts together the correlation. Some people say, well, one is a sandwich. That's hunger. Okay. Now you're talking about life and death when you're talking about a burglar. That's because you're still putting so much focus on the sandwich and the burglar, not the concept. The concept is who's willing to sacrifice, and what are you willing to sacrifice for the person that you claim you love? A man that stood before your family, before God, before your relatives and all this, says, I'm going to love you for better or worse. All of these things. You can't get up at 2 a.m. to make him a sandwich. Victoria and I have been together for 13 years. We've been together. I've asked Victoria before for food in the middle of the night. I can't remember the case, maybe randomly or whatever. I'm hungry, babe, or whatever. And she has no problem getting up and doing it. Maybe that had happened maybe twice in 13 years. Twice in 13 years. Now, as far just because some people want to know, as far as sounds and burglars, me having to go check the house with the thing, that has happened. If I had to take a guess, maybe 7 times or so in our 13 years. So both cases are absolutely random, and they're scarce. It's not something that happens all the time, which really begs more of the question. Why would you just get up and make the freaking sandwich for the man that you claim to love? You cannot get to the burglar and talk about this big time thing that is the burglar if you can't get past this small thing, which is talking about the sandwich, if you're looking at sandwich versus burglar. What I want you to focus on again is the concept, the core of the issue, which is what are you willing to sacrifice for the person that you love? That's what I want you to focus on. That's what people cannot get. They can't get through here. I had so many comments.
Oh, you need a mama. You need a mama. That's what you need.
Because your wife won't make a sandwich. Then I had people also trying to say that, it's transactional with you. Put up the picture again. I want you to look at it again. Love is not transactional. I never said love is transactional. I said you should look at the expectation. That's what it's talking about. But you know why people miss that? Because they can't get past the sandwich, because the sandwich exposes themselves. So all that hurt and all that pain starts shooting out of the person when they read that. What? A woman who won't get up at 2 a.m. to make him a sandwich shouldn't expect him to get up and fight a bird. It's the anger that starts to spew out because you're speaking from hurt. The post is designed to make you speak from who you truly are. And that has been happening. And that's the problem, because people just miss the core. What are you willing to sacrifice for the person that you love? Here's what I need you to understand. I'm going to drive this point home for you. Here's what I need you to understand. That if you love somebody, certainly you have to make sacrifices for them. Sleep. Sometimes you're deprived. Sometimes you're tired. Sometimes you're hungry. Sometimes you don't think that a man who's going to fight for you physically, I'm talking about, who would physically fight for you. You don't think he stands there in the middle of that fight and he's afraid? Of course he's afraid. He's probably shaking. He's probably nervous, but he makes the sacrifice because of the love that he has for you. A woman, the same thing. You don't think she's tired? You don't think she's sleepy? But still, she does it because she loves you. It's a servant attitude, a servant mind. We ought to be willing to serve one another in a marriage. I'm talking about in a marriage, you ought to be willing to serve one another in great capacities, great ways. OK, I want to serve my wife in this capacity, make sure that she's taken care of, make sure she doesn't have any concerns, make sure she doesn't worry or anything like that. Same thing, her to me. That is what love is supposed to look like. The nature of the post is to make you think, why would I as a husband expect my wife to make me a sandwich at 2 a.m.? Why can I expect that from her if I'm not willing to die for her? If I'm not willing to live for her? If I'm not willing to teach her or to help her or to provide for her in any of those things? Why should I expect that if I'm not expected to do the same thing? If I'm not holding a standard, showing my love, if I'm not holding that standard, why should I expect that from her? Now, she may do it, and that's great, and that's wonderful, but why should I expect that? That's crazy. That's an amazing way of thinking, but people miss that core principle because they cannot get past the freaking sandwich. Did you hear me? People miss the core principle of, hey, I want to love you. I want to show you my love. I want to give you this love. That's what I want to do. They miss the core principle of it all. Why should I expect this type of behavior from a person that I'm not willing to do anything for? I won't get up at 2 a.m. to make you a sandwich. Really? Why? Because I got to go to work in the morning. I'm not getting up and making you no sandwich and I'm tired and I'm sleepy. I'm not doing that. Okay, fine. Where do you work at? I work at Chick-fil-A. What do you do? Make sandwiches all day?
Surprise!
You go to work and you serve people all day long. Boy, I'm teaching. You go to work and you serve people all day long that you do not know. You serve people all day long that you work with. You serve people all day long that you do not like. But when it comes to the person that you claim to love, you have a problem serving him. You have a problem serving her. How is that possible? How is that love? You're going to tell me that you love me and you won't serve me, but you'll serve everybody else?
Me personally, I wouldn't take this level of disrespect.
You're going to tell me that you see me as the leader and the head, but you won't do for me, but you'll do for everybody else? That's baffling to me. I hear wives and women all the time say, I'm not in subjection to my husband. I'm not in subjection to I will not do it. I don't care what the Bible say. I'm not in subjection to my husband. We are partners. My husband and I are partners. That's what they say. You don't need a partner. You need a spouse. Your partner's at work, at Chick-fil-A or Walmart, wherever you work at. You got partners there. Your spouse is a whole different thing. And it becomes troubling when you do more for your partners than you will for your spouse. That is what the sandwich and the burglar makes you think. It puts you in that position. And most people miss it. Most people miss it because they're blinded by the hurt and who they truly are. And if you won't make sacrifices for the person that you love, if you won't make sacrifice for the person you love, you don't see the problem in that. The example shows you who you are. That's what it does. How much are you willing to sacrifice for the person that you love? Making a sandwich 3 minutes? Fighting off burglars? Risking your life? How much are you willing to sacrifice? If you don't know, if you don't understand how much you're willing to sacrifice, you're going to lose it. All right, I need to drive home this point for you, because at the core of this scenario, most people just look at the sandwich. Most people just look at the burglar and they miss it. They miss the core of it. The core is sacrifice. How much again are you willing to sacrifice for the person that you claim that you love? You claim you love this person, but you won't do this at 2 a.m., make a sandwich. You claim you love this person, but you won't get up and defend her house, defend her honor, provide for her, protect for her, whatever the case may be, because you claim you love this person. Why don't you do it? Now, when you put it in this scenario though, people miss it. And if you're not careful, your love is shaky. And if you're not careful, the sandwich becomes the burglar. And it'll rob you of love, rob you of protection, rob you of livelihood, rob you of trust, rob you of a lot of, you thought it was just a sandwich. Man, please.